guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video, guys, I want to talk specifically about the female narcissist. You know, our channel, or this channel, it does compose of 20% male audience, and I don't ever want you guys to feel left out. I am a woman and I'm heterosexual, so a lot of times when I talk about narcissistic abuse and I talk about narcissists, especially in the romantic setting, quite naturally, it's easy for me to masculate it and talk about the male narcissist, or basically talking about the male narcissist. But what I want you guys to know is the male and the female narcissists are pretty much the same at the core. We're talking about the core of what narcissism is, those core traits. They both share that. So yes, they both have that void and that lack of empathy. They both have the false personas. They're both emotionally stunted. So these core traits, they both have low self-esteem. So those core traits, they share these things. But when it becomes to be a little different, and not 100% of the time, but more than likely, is how they're using their techniques basically for manipulation. Okay, their techniques. Okay, so a female narcissist is going to be prone. That's my twins upstairs. I have twin little girls, and they're in their room playing with the fence up in there. Of course, they want to be on video. They don't even know what I'm down here doing. But either way, the female narcissists, they'll utilize their femininity in our society, of course, to be able, sorry about that. I don't know why it's itching. To be able to further manipulate any situation that they can. So that's going to be one core difference. I mean, a male narcissist, they want to look like the man in public. They care a lot about their image and their masculinity. Even if behind closed doors, for instance, let's say this male narcissist pretends like he's this alpha male in the public, but yet he gets with a woman to take care of him. He's not holding down a job. He's not the head of the household. In that sense, it's very feminized. How would I say that? He's taken more of a womanly role, actually, in that sense, But yet, when he gets around his family and friends, into society, he wants to look like he's the man, and the woman who's the caregiver and playing the mommy role and taking care of him, she's expected to give him all the glory and the credit. It's almost like if she wrote the book and put the narcissist's name on it. So she would have to feed in to the image of making it appear like he's doing more than he is for the household, and, fluffing him up in his masculinity so that it's feeding into his false persona and further, feeding into his narcissism. Okay, so when we talk about the flip side, which is the female narcissist, we're talking about someone who wants to be the victim all the time. She wants to play off of being the victim. So in this instance, whatever the situation is, it's going to get spun in a way where it's poor her and everyone's feeling bad for her. That's what a female narcissist needs. She needs everyone to feel bad for her in that situation. And whatever she has to do, whatever type of smear campaign, whatever type of tactic, whether it's creating a false report, calling the police, lying, oh, this person beat me, making their own bruise and saying you caused it, faking a pregnancy so that how could you talk to me and I'm carrying your child? Just all types of mind fucks, if you will, to manipulate a situation. How dare you do that? I'm your mother. When she's totally disrespecting you and you're tired of taking her mess and you just calling her out on it in the most respectful manner. Can we talk about this? But how dare you? It's going to get spun in a way that would always make her seem victimized. And I've actually, come into contact with female narcissists very up close and personal in my family. So I have dealt with it very much up close. And what I've noticed about them compared to the male narcissist is their ideals of image are different as well. Like a male narcissist, he would care a lot about what people think. Just like I was explaining to you about him pretending to be this alpha male to everyone else, and yet you're with a woman and she's actually carrying all the weight. All of it, not even just some of it or 50-50, all of it. But yet, for his false persona, he needs everyone else, to not know what the real deal is, So he cares a lot about what outsiders think about his whole situation, and they don't want to look weak. That's how they can go and, I'm just trying to find the words. Like, these people are just a mess. They're a mess. Guys. But yeah, they want to look like they're better off than they are, the male narcissist. They don't want to look like there's a crack in the foundation and anything that they got going on. Like, he could be behind the doors abusing a mess out of his wife, but in front of the public, everything needs to look like the perfect couple that everybody wants to be like. The female narcissist, on the other hand, she's okay with airing the dirty laundry. She's okay as long as she looks innocent, as long as she is the victim in the process. So that's how it works with her. She will, she could be a professional, my phone kind of cut off there. But yeah, she could be that professional victim. A female narcissist would be more prone to that in a certain sense, even though male narcissists do it as well. That's why, when people say male narcissist and female narcissist, they all do the same thing, but you just might say that the female narcissist may be more prone to take a certain approach, and then there are certain tactics, obviously, that the male narcissist can't use that the female narcissist can, like pregnancy, and then there are certain situations that give the female narcissist an upper hand as opposed to the male narcissist, like in domestic violence situations, child custody situations, when we're talking about child support, divorce. These things typically in our society tend to lean towards the woman. So it's like a double threat. She can use her sex, being that she's a woman, to increase her ability to be an even stronger narcissist in certain instances, basically. And then, of course, the female narcissist, just like the male, they can withhold sex as well. They do. But, the female narcissist is doing it knowing that a man is sexually generally, I have to be so politically correct sometimes because we have asexuals out here and men that say, I don't care about sex. But generally speaking, with the testosterone in a man, they are sexually driven. Okay? So when a female narcissist is withholding that from you, she knows that, that's really throwing you off balance, as opposed to the male narcissist withholding it from his partner, let's say in a heterosexual sense, the woman. It's more to hurt her emotionally. It's more to, make her feel unloved and uncared for and unwanted, more than to hit her sex drive, But the female narcissist knows how much, the typical man loves to have sex, and she knows how much that could affect her partner, whoever she's with. So yeah, she'll use that as a major manipulation tactic in giving you the silent treatment. And in the bedroom, like no nookie for you, okay? And then dare you, especially if you're married, dare you to go out and cheat. And then, you would have given her the out in divorce court, for committing adultery. So, in my experience, who has done the worst things to me, that is a very close call. That is a very close call. But because the female narcissist was a family member and the male narcissist was in a romantic relationship, that situation hurt me further and deeper because that relationship had been so much longer. And when my eyes, when the fog cleared from my eyes and I realized what I was dealing with and how vicious and malicious she had been, on second thoughts, I feel like the female narcissists are just, they are, they're more, to me, they're more craftier, they're more malignant, they're able to. The ones that aren't in a lower range, because there's, lesser intelligent narcissists in both sexes, but the intelligent female narcissists, and we'll use intelligent loosely because, they're still springing out of their ignorance and dysfunction at the end of the day. But the ones that are, they're able to think their plans out even better to me than a malignant male narcissist. Just like they say women are better cheaters than men, generally speaking. Like they're able to really plan something out and plot something. I feel that way when it comes to the female narcissist. My heart goes out to the men because now you're in a situation where, you're up against this woman who's abusing you. And our society, of course, doesn't really embrace that kind of story. It's like, come on, you're a man. What can that little woman do to you? And it's like, chuck it up. She's a woman. Oh, they're on their period. They get cranky every certain, there's excuses, and people don't really understand. Like, sometimes it's a female narcissist, and if you're dealing with her, God bless you. God bless you. I've had my run-in with one after I caused a narcissistic injury. They're just having a ball up there. I might let you guys see them when I'm done recording. But, yeah. And, she plotted revenge against me. She did. And it was very, very hurtful and way more malicious than what I went through with my male narcissist. When I think of the worst female narcissist that I encountered and the worst male narcissist I encountered, the female narcissist was more brutal. It was more brutal. But I think because fewer men speak up, they're not specifically spoken about as much, because men, you guys aren't trained to be talking about your emotions and feelings, and you don't want to feel emasculated, probably, talking about this abuse that you suffered, and men are less likely to go see a therapist than a woman. So for all these reasons, it's not as documented, and they're not getting that shine, but they are a force to be reckoned with, just like the male narcissists. But the general thing that I want to say is, is not so gender specific. Like I said in the beginning of the video, these basic traits of narcissism, they both have it. They both have it, guys. They both have the basic traits alike. It's just like I said, because one is a man and one is a female, there are times where, she could use her femininity to her advantage in the situation to manipulate it further. And in certain instances in our society, because she's a woman, again, she could use that to throw it around her narcissism on a larger scale. Okay? Because, perception does become reality. So if she's present herself as this fragile little woman that wouldn't hurt a butterfly, and she plays the Oscar Academy role, unfortunately, it won't be a good look for that man that she's targeting. They could accuse people of all types of things that they didn't even do. And then there's, I can't say that there's more insecurity in a female narcissist than a male. I can't say that. I just see they're both very insecure. But I think the female narcissist, because she's a woman, there's more display of it. Because, we have more things. We have the makeup. Not to say that men don't wear makeup here. We have accessories. Not to say that there aren't male purses nowadays. There's all types of stuff. But just generally speaking here, we could see the female's narcissist insecurities on her sleeve a little bit more. Because a lot of times they are very anal about their looks. You can see all the plastic surgery. You can see all the makeup and the fake hair and the outfits and just all of the effort that they're putting into their beauty. Because this is what they're going to use to hook a man. And the other thing about female narcissists, they typically are the gold diggers. Mm-hmm. But male narcissists are very money focused as well. Because they want things, because the material things and all that plays into their image, and that makes them feel like they're going to have power, of course. But yes, I want to say all gold diggers are narcissists, but, I'm not. But more than likely, if she's a gold digger, she's probably a narcissist. And, they feel very entitled, of course, and they want the world handed to them, Now, this I will say, because, people's definitions of what a gold digger is, I guess it can vary and depends. Or people's perception of a woman taking advantage of a man, I guess that can vary and depend as well. I have no problem with a stay-at-home wife and a stay-at-home mom. I have no problem with that. To me, that's not a woman taking advantage of a man. I'm okay with a man paying 100% of the bills of a household, if that is what him and his wife wants for their relationship. I think that's fine if she's staying home and technically, bringing up the kids and he's going out and working. That is completely fine and normal to me, even in 2018. So everyone has their difference of opinions of this. Some people might try to call her a gold digger for doing this. I'm like, okay, well, her husband married her. He's in agreement to that. So I think, people's relationships are what they want it to be. You know, people aren't going to settle for what they don't want. But I don't have any problems with a woman wanting to be taken care of and a man taking care of a woman. You know, and marrying a woman and say, hey, I just want you to stay home and take care of our household and family. I'm going to go out and work and pay the bills. That is completely fine with me. Just as if a woman says she wants to be 50-50 or go out and work just as hard as her man, you know, to each his own is what I would say to that. To each his own. But I think, you know, it is a better balance when a wife is at home. But, you know, everyone has to, as far as when children are involved, someone has to be around. If everybody's out working, then the nannies and the babysitters are raising the kids. The house is falling apart. Like, you know, we need a balance. But, you know, everyone's definition of that is different. Okay? But I don't want to really digress too far into that. But, you know, gold digger, and to me, is just a woman that purely only uses a man for what she can get for him. There's no type of care involved, and it's a ruthless sense to it. You know, she'll do anything, she'll say anything to get it. There's no line, there's no load to it, and she'll basically, like I said, do anything or say anything to get it. So then, to me, that's a gold digger, but not just a woman that's dating a generous guy or a wealthy man that has it to spend and wants to spend it, and he's happy because he just wants a beautiful woman, and she's happy because she wants to be spoiled and spent on, and they're both happy and there's an exchange. To me, that's not gold digging. Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that. But yes, I want to pretty much say that narcissistic women and men, because a man could be a gold digger as well. But this video is about the female narcissist, okay? Because now it's on the rise with the men. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, they're narcissists. And, you know, they're lazy people. They're lazy people. They want to do as little as possible. And they will work through other people to get that accomplished. You know, manipulate other people. Use this one for that. Use that one for this. Use that one for that. Use that one for this. Whatever the useful is that they have. And they put them people in that spot. And that's what they are. And that's what they are. But yeah, there definitely are female narcissists out there. And, you know, I don't say it enough. I want to try to be more mindful about that moving forward. But they are. But at the core, they're all sharing those same traits. But like I said, just because one is a man, one is a woman, she can utilize that in a certain sense. Okay, guys? So I hope this is like beginning the discussion with us about the female narcissist. And, you know, you're understanding that, A, they do exist. And I know you men out there are like, yes, Lakia, we know that. But just be careful. Be careful, because in my opinion, they're a little more craftier. The higher range, if I were to put a malignant male narcissist with a malignant female narcissist, I think she would have them. It might be by this much, but she got them. She got them, because in my experience, and I've dealt with malignants on both sides, the female got them. The female got them. Whew. Hell have no fury as a woman scorned. Okay? So we should insert in there as a female narcissist scorned, because she gonna come for you. She is gonna come for you. And it's almost like the predators in the wild that look sweet and innocent to get their prey to come to them, only to then attack them. Yeah. That's what you're going to be working with after you cause that narcissistic injury with that female narcissist. She might reel you in with kindness. And it's a complete setup. You know, she'll be the type to go get a restraining order on you. And then perhaps a couple of months later, call you on a rainy night. Oh, forget about that restraining order. I just want to see you. Come on, I'm lonely. And then you go over there thinking, you know what, this whole thing was stupid. And I miss having sex with that female narcissist who put it on me, because they will make it their business to do that. You go over there and get you to the doorstep. That's not quite enough. She might want you to come in a little more. And guess what she did after she said, let me know when you're like 3 minutes away? She's called the police. Then you've gotten closer into her personal space when you ain't even supposed to be within 1,000 feet of her. And guess who's getting arrested in the rain? And then you're going to see that icy glare in her eyes as they're taking you away. Because she got you again. No mercy. No mercy. So we're going to talk more about the female narcissist on this channel, of course. But, I just wanted to shed some light on it because I don't specifically say it enough. When I'm talking about narcissism in general, yes, this applies to the female narcissist, okay? But just to give them that extra shine because they are malicious, okay? They will put a child on you and you will be paying child support and find out it was never your child and that narcissist knew it, but because you had more money, you are the one that got set up. And if you didn't do your due diligence, you're going to be stuck. Because nowadays in the court system, even if you find out this child is 5 years old, they're going to do what's in the child's best interest. Well, the child knows you as the father. It's been 5 years. You have to do the rest of the years. Okay? So they know exactly what they're doing. Exactly what they're doing, fellas. Stop just falling for it. And it's hard for me to tell you guys this because this is your makeup. This is how you act. This is what you do. Guys fall visually. You're visual people, and this is what you're going to fall for right off the bat. But take it slower at least so that you can rule out that this is a narcissist, because she's going to pretend. She's going to find out exactly what you're looking for, and that is exactly what she's going to present to you. It doesn't matter how much she like it because her eyes are on the prize, and that's your money. So whatever she has to pretend to be, that's what she shall be until she get her claws in you thick enough. Okay? You have to slow down. And everything that glitters is not gold. Everything is not glitter. It's not. Everything that glitters is not gold. Stop raw dogging it because you get a chance with this beautiful woman who might just been sent to destroy you in the worst way. And who knows how many other people she's sleeping with. She looks beautiful and healthy, and she could be carrying HIV. Men, we fall for our eyes. She look healthy. She look clean. She look everything you can't see by looks. So that's going to take you guys having control over your flesh. And stop operating out of this place of lust. Because that's how they going to get you. That's the Jezebel spirit. She's going to get you right up in your lust. She's going to be real. She's going to seduce you. Okay? Talk about seduction. And before you can come off of that high and the fog clear, she's going to have her claws in you. Get control over yourselves. Get control. All right, guys? Until next time, take care.